Welcome to the third segment of Weekly Updates. Today is November 14th, just finished the second week of the month. Talking to some of the floor managers, they were very encouraged. I had great walk-in traffic this past week, especially Wednesday, Veterans Day, the holiday. A lot of people off, a lot of people shopping. A reminder, we want to make sure we use that law of scarcity. Where customers are backing themselves into a corner. If people looking for things to have or floor covering have done before Thanksgiving, they're running out of time. Definitely Christmas, even with a lot of back orders, could actually be difficult. So we want to make sure that we ask about the customer's time frame using the law of scarcity, which again talks about something that they can't have everywhere, or they can't wait till the last minute. Ask them what their time frame is. Use that law. We should be checking stock, letting them know how soon we can get products, so we don't have, where they take home samples, they fall in love with something, and then we find out they can't get it till, in January or something like that. So we should be a little bit more proactive this time, knowing that people's deadlines, so we can make them happy. Okay. The other thing I want to talk about this week is kind of. I had a weird experience this past week. Had two different friends of mine purchase floor covering from us. One is a neighbor 2 houses down that we've known for about 8 years, Chuck and Joyce, great couple. Ended up doing just about their whole bottom stairs or bottom level of their house with new ceramic tile, tearing out some of the old and putting in all new. Then had another buddy of mine that I've known for about 35 years. Ended up buying some hardwood and ceramic tile from us. And it was strange in talking to him and looking at it from a customer's point of view or from their perspective. Both of them were extremely nervous, kind of not knowing what was going to happen exactly. Even though I walked them through and said they're going to be out there on this day, they're going to tear it up, this is how the job is going to go, but they still had a lot of anxiety. Because it's kind of, I guess, the fear of the unknown is I guess, how I'd phrase it best. Not knowing if the material was going to be there added anxiety, and then everything showed up on time. And then not knowing if the installer was going to be there, which they showed up. And then how long the job was going to take. And one of the jobs is actually going to be the installers in their house 7 to 8 days. The other one, closer to about 4 days. So both kind of long job, good-sized jobs. But added anxiety. And then, not knowing the installers and meeting them and who was going to be in their home and things like that. So, anyways, where I'm going with this is that my buddy Chuck down the street, saw him today. The installers have been in his house 6 days. And I said, Chuck, how's it going? I said, I checked on the guys. The floor looks great. It's beautiful, great selection, all that kind of stuff. He goes, yeah, we absolutely love it. My wife is so thrilled. Great grout color and all that kind of stuff. So then I confided, I said, Chuck, I was a little nervous whenever you do work for family or friends or, you guys 2 houses down, if something goes wrong, boy, don't want to lose a friendship or, it's easy for you to complain or whatever like that. So kind of joking with him a little bit. And my point is, he said something to me that really struck a chord. And what he said was, Jim, he goes, I trusted you guys. I knew you were going to take care of everything. There's nothing to worry about. I knew you have good installers. I knew if there was a problem, you'd take care of it. I knew if something got delayed or whatever, you'd do your best to get it here. So, and that's where I want to go on this segment this week, is the trust factor. Something that we kind of maybe take for granted because we know who we are. Okay, and what I mean by that, we know what kind of company we are, how we're a stand-up company, we take care of our problems, we do our best, we don't mislead people, we don't switch and bait, we don't misquote, we don't mismeasure, all these other things that a lot of other companies do. We don't play those games, okay? But a lot of consumers don't know that, okay? When we're working with a customer, we should always tell them, buy where you trust the person. And this is what I learned from my neighbor Chuck. He bought because he trusted me. We weren't the cheapest, even though I gave him some great smoking prices, but he trusted us to be in his house. He trusted us to deliver. He trusted us to do a great job. Okay? Think of it from a consumer's point of view again, that how much more personal can you get than us going into their home, kind of their home is their castle, if you will, disrupting their whole house, moving all their furniture around, going underneath their beds or removing their beds, going in their closets where all their personal items are. Okay? It's extremely personal. Other than going to a doctor, it's really kind of, you don't get much more of a personal experience in your life than going to buy floor covering. Okay? So it's imperative, extremely important, that whoever the consumer buys from, that they trust us. Okay? And that's kind of what we need to earn. We need to remind them that we are a trustworthy company. And if people say, why should I buy from you? One thing to throw out there is because you can trust us. We've been doing this for over 60 years. We're professionals at what we do. And we do what we say, and we say what we do. So that was one thing I wanted to touch on. And the anxiety, going back to that, now my neighbor Chuck, the other person that was kind of wound up in the anxieties, the guy I've known for 35 years, believe it or not, he was a little nervous about the installers and having people in his house and things like that. Believe it or not, that's one of the store managers in Rancho Cordova. Bill, I'm going to rat you out on this one, but it was kind of the first time that Bill had really ever gone through a major project, I think personally, in his house. And he now has a different respect of what the consumer feels, from him being a consumer himself, and how nerve-wracking it can be not knowing exactly what to expect. So Bill, you gave me the topic on this week, and I thank you. Again, us earning the customer's trust, telling them what we're going to do before it happens, keeping them informed every step of the way, with the good news that the product's there, even the bad news with back orders and things like that that are kind of out of our control, but keeping the consumer informed all the time. Very important, very important. And help eliminate some of their anxieties and pressures and fears and phobias and things like that. So S&G, we're the company you can trust. We do great work. Again, we get 60 to 70% of all the estimates that we do are complimentary proposals. Remember, most people are shopping minimum of 3 places nowadays, getting bids from minimum of 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 5 different retailers, and we get 6 to 7 out of 10 jobs we measure. That means the other guys are all fighting over what's left over. Those 3 or 4 jobs we don't get out of 10, the other 3 or 4 or 5 stores that bid it, that's what they're getting. So remember, S&G, the place to buy. One other point on that, if we were so crazy expensive like some of us might feel or think, we wouldn't be getting that high of a closure rate or that high of a percentage of jobs. So our pricing is very competitive. The Lifetime series has been a big hit already. Everybody's excited. Great value there. So that's it for this week, guys, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Happy sales. Way to go. Thank you.